Cool. Are you ready for round 3?
Wait. Okay, I'm done. Ready.
Round 3 is Myths and Legends, and I'm starting this one. And mine is that David Jones was more than just some guy. So there are lots of theories and legends behind Davy Jones, who you will of course recognise from the excellent Pirates of the Caribbean films.
When you said David Jones, for some reason I was like, why is he talking about rugby players?
See, to me, he sounds like an accountant.
I flirted with in school.
Yeah. Or possibly, I don't know, Welsh. A Welsh guy.
Yeah,
I thought Davy Jones!
Yeah, like a Welsh rugby player.
Terror of the High Seas, innit?
So, not just some guy.
Not just some guy. So yeah, there are loads of theories behind Davy Jones, who used to be a general symbol for evil on the high seas.
And a personal trainer, that's why he had a locker.
No, he didn't have that locker, he just had the padlock. Yeah, anyway, Davy Jones' locker is a euphemism for the seabed and basically being dead on the seabed.
Why is it not called Davy Jones' bed? Or was he a spectacular lover and so they couldn't say that as
I
a negative?
don't know why they call it a locker. I tried to find that, but basically it's essentially just a euphemism for not coming back from somewhere.
Concrete shoes.
Concrete shoes. Aladdin in that thing. I've seen that one. That Disney film. They drop him in the
yeah.
bottom of the ocean, don't they?
Oh yeah! God, that's dark. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, have you never seen the original poster for Little Mermaid where they actually have the phallus in the castle?
Yeah, oh my god. Have you seen...
That sounds like an
Why
amazing
do I feel
Disney
like
song.
I might have said this on another podcast? Have you seen the original front cover for The Mighty Ducks 2?
No.
You haven't said this in another podcast. Go on.
Oh my god. Many moons ago when I worked at HMV and I had to sort out I think it's a Disney film, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Sorting out the Disney movies. And I literally had to run over to someone else that I worked with to go, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because literally what it is, 2 teenage boys facing each other, sort of bending forward. So they're like face to face, but they're both blowing bubbles of bubblegum, which are touching in the middle, and stood behind them is a man whose crotch is at the exact level of the 2 bubblegums, with his hand on the backs of each teenager looking very smug. And it is one of the funniest things you'll ever see, and I cannot believe that someone got that past marketing, because it's amazing.
Oh,
and I
Christ.
really wish I had our phones on so I could show you it, but I'll show you later, and it's magnificent. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
seen that. That's
Oh my
amazing. Anyway, yeah. Aladdin dark, Mighty Ducks over-sexualized.
Over-sexual.
Words. Anyway, yeah, Davy Jones. So, a couple of the origins of where he came from, or theories about origins of where he came from, because no one's really sure. Include a pub landlord who used to get people drunk and lock them on ships, press gang them. There was an association with Jonah and the whale, so Davy Jonah, kind of, and just generally refers to bad luck brought about by Jonah because he was quite unlucky, or considered to be unlucky. Satan himself. There was the captain of the Flying Dutchman, or the Vanderdecken, whose ship was taken over by the devil and he was forced to sail forever, and his ship's crew turned into skeletons and kept working endlessly and never being able to talk. That was one legend. And there was an actual pirate called David Jones, but people basically think he wasn't famous enough to be the inspiration of the legend. He wasn't really good enough a pirate.
Aww.
And I just think it was quite fun. David Jones, the actual David Jones that existed, wasn't as good as the made-up one.
Maybe it's like a name that's so generic they chose it. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to end up with the other John Does.
Yeah.
Don't think.
John Doe's locker.
Yeah.
No, I've moved on to Disney films. That's turned into Bambi for me.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Knock knock.
Who's that?
Bambi's mum.
Bambi's mum.
Bang!
It was a harsh biscuit, but it was delicious.
Moving onwards. Laura, you're not telling us about vampires this week.
I can tell you about vampires.
No. You're not telling us about vampires. Please, continue.
Well, if you'd like to hear about vampires, we could go there. But instead, I think we should talk about the fact that whalebone corsets aren't made from the bones of a whale. So we all know that Victorian eras, etc., they're big corsetry fans, and this progressed through the years to even now, and many people still enjoy wearing it for fetish reasons. So it's a myth that whalebone corsets are made from the bones of a whale. So modern day corsets, they might be made from PVC or metal implants, etc. You can still get some that are marketed as whalebone. And then if you go further back to Victorian era, etc., they were predominantly made by what is known as whalebone. But it doesn't actually come from the skeleton of a whale.
Doesn't it?
No, it's not a bone at all.
Is it insulation out the house?
Kind of.
Breaking into a whale's house.
Yeah.
It's just...
Cowboy dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming in here, stealing our not whalebone from not the walls.
That's,
Sorry, Laura, where does whalebone come from?
it's not to say it doesn't come from the body of whale, it's just not skeleton. The alternative word is baleen, and it comes from the filtering structure found in the mouth of most whales, which is used to sieve through mouthfuls of seawater to find tasty fish. It is essentially made from keratin, which is what makes up horns, scales, and nails, but isn't bone.
So it's from the filtery bit of its mouth.
Yeah.
So is that like the actual kind of, because obviously it's not the fabric in between, so it's like the actual kind of structural bit.
Yeah, the
made of that.
toothbrush kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you could say that it's made out of cartilage, but it's not made out of the bone. So calling it whalebone is kind of a myth, because it's not the bones.
Yeah. Interestingly, a rhino's horn is also not bone. It's the same stuff.
Well,
Same stuff as
So is
fingernails
hair,
and
isn't it?
yeah, that's what I mean. Keratin is what makes up horns, scales, claws, nails, hair. That's why there's so many beauty products at the moment.
Made
sort
from
of-
whalebone.
So many beauty products made to strengthen and nourish keratin so that you have stronger nails, glossier hair, etc. But I'm wondering, will it stop my corsets from breaking?
Or is he just going to rub some Tresemme on it?
Yeah, why not?
Maybe. I
Maybe
don't
she's born with it. Maybe she's broken a rib.
know. You give it a whirl. You smell nice, at least.
Better than I do now.
Smell less like a whale.
Or that's another fact that you know that one of the most expensive ingredients that goes into perfume is
Ambergris. Comes from
ambergris.
whale snot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's whale snot, whale saliva. And if you smell that, it's bloody disgusting on its own. Put it in some perfume with some other bits and pieces, and it will happily fetch some of the highest prices in the perfumery market.
That's because rich people are morons.
Yeah, that's why they want
But so are stupid
diamond-encrusted
people.
cars.
Yeah. That's why Kanye West's bottom teeth are diamonds.
That's why Kanye West exists. Anyway, so yeah, my fact is that whalebone corsets aren't made from the bones of a whale.
Be like whale nails, but in its face.
That sounds like a really good beauty salon type thing. Right, Kathleen, you're up next.
Okay. We're on myths and legends, aren't we?
Thanks for paying attention.
Yeah. So, my legendary fact is about Godzilla.
Ooh.
Until the end of the US-led occupation of Japan in 1952, there was a ban on any in-depth press coverage dealing with the atomic aftermath. However, it wasn't until 1954 that the reporting garnered any real attention, when a US nuclear test was conducted over a Japanese fishing ship, the Lucky Dragon. The crew and all their fish were exposed to fallout radiation, and the general population feared that they themselves had been exposed through consuming tainted fish. That same year was the release of Gojira, the opening scene of which features a fishing crew exposed to an unexplained destructive flash of light. Individuals who survived nuclear blasts but still suffered the after effects of radiation poisoning became known as hibakusha, which translates colloquially to bomb-affected person. Among other symptoms, they were recognisable by their radiation burn scars. Godzilla, seen in effect as a giant hibakusha, was a reminder of the destructive power of radiation and the transformative properties of the atomic bomb.
I thought you were going to say they were recognisable by their healthy green glow.
By the fact that they were wrecking downtown Tokyo. I go, "Ah!"
So Godzilla basically came from the myth originating from what fishermen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
On the
basically
ironically named Lucky Dragon.
Yeah, it was fiction. It was basically this big taboo thing. Firstly, it was kind of there was this massive ban on even discussing it in the press, And secondly, because it was kind of so taboo to talk about it, when Godzilla came out and it kind of represented all of these kind of fears that everyone had about fallout radiation and being exposed by various different ways, and kind of the way that people who had been infected by radiation poisoning were so taboo and whatever, it kind of became a really, really big iconic thing overnight, because suddenly it kind of represented all of these things that had been so closed off and had been such a kind of terrible experience, was suddenly represented in this one creature. And that's why it kind of became this really big thing in pop culture.
I did always wonder why they're so obsessed with those kind of monsters and things like that.
And as I say, because it was like 2 years after the basically the US had left and weren't occupying anymore, so it was still very kind of fresh in their memory, and it was the only the journalists had started trying to talk about it, but hadn't really gained any traction because people were still wanting to rebuild, and there was this kind of tension between people who wanted to forget about it and just kind of get on with their lives, and people who really kind of needed to discuss it and needed to discuss what.
I'm kind of seeing a parallel between that and modern day circumstances.
My brain instantly went with
Yeah, some people think we should just let it go, and some people just want to keep dragging up the past.
Yeah, in 2 years when I release my film, Referendum Dragon.
What's the bomb that's going to go off over the fishing boat? Just an exploding...
People yelling at each other on a tram? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently they've caught them.
I haven't seen the video, but yeah.
It's horrible. It's embarrassing. Right. But what I don't get is that it's two teenagers who are clearly drunk off their faces, and they said it happened at 7:30 in the morning.
It's Manchester.
You don't remember our teenage years, do you?
Your teenage years, I'd like to point out, not mine. I was sober all the time and I never did anything stupid.
Kirby, we were teenagers together.
Ooh.
Shut your face.
We were at all the same parties.
We were all at the same girls' school.
Yeah, that's true.
We were at an all-girls school together for some time.
Yeah, 2 years.
Until Kirby got found out.
I think everyone knew. Somehow, on some deep intuitional level. Intuitive. There we go.
Okay, so Godzilla.
So, yes. So, and summary, what have we got for Myth and Legend? We've got my Davy Jones, your Trade's Description Act Wales, and Kathleen's Godzilla Fisherman.
I'm going to go with the whalebone corset, because I learnt something about clothes and fetish clothing.
I learned something today. I'm going to go with Godzilla Fisherman, because I like Godzilla and Fisherman.
Any specific one?
No, all of them. They're all good. That fishermen are weird. They're interesting, weird. They have all these different set of maladies and stuff that you get because they're exposed to sea life and things like that. They're just completely...
And they have their own law. They're like maritime law.
Maritime law, yeah.
Yeah. Which was what I was trying to think of earlier. We were talking about something about...
Khal Drogo.
No. But
No,
now
he
you've
was
made
a
him
horse
think
lord.
about him. So...
Yeah, so...
Right off the next hour. Who's also Aquaman. Full circle!
There we go, that's
Is
what
he
I meant.
actually Aquaman?
Yeah, he's Aquaman.
That is...
behind.
He's not on the horses then. Sea horses. But they're actually very small, so he's got a lot of them.
I was looking up seahorses, actually, and they're one of the strongest animals contextual to their size. So, like, if they get attacked by a turtle or something that's trying to eat them, you can crush their lower body, the bit that curls round in a seahorsey-like curl, to about 60% of its actual size before they take any kind of structural damage.
Is it because they've got, like...
And they're really strong. And it's different. They're layered in different... There's not bone in the same way that we are connected. The bones can slide over each other in different bits like that.
But then I suppose if it's like an undersea creature, then... But if you think about, like, most land animals, we're pretty dense. Like, there's not a lot of room around the organs, as it were. Whereas sea creatures, they can be a bit mushy. And so you probably can, like, kick the
You
crap
just
out
have
of a
the lungs out
jellyfish
the
before
side
it's like,
and-
excuse me, that's very rude.
I think if you kick the crap out of a jellyfish, you'd probably know about it first. So, I'm voting for Kathleen's Godzilla Fisherman.
I'm voting for the whalebone corsets.
Laura, who are you voting for?
I'm voting for your Davy Jones because forevermore I will think of a Welsh accent whenever I read it about him in literature. So that's going to tempt me.
Cool. and Bill Nye with a Welsh accent. No?
Is that what he was doing?